Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Now today we are just going to discuss about matter. What is matter? Matter is actually one type of substance that is having some mass and which occupies some space. But what the matter is constitutes of? If we take some example of a bottle, a cup, a table, chair, laptop, mobile, tablet, whatever the substances that I have named now, they are known as matter, but they are made of some molecules, and the molecules are made of atoms. As you can see in front of your screen, that the structure is known as a molecular structure. In this structure, there are a lot of atoms which are bonded with respect to each other. Now we are going to study that what atom is made of. Now let's start that one. Now in this session you will understand that the structure of an atom looks like this. There are millions of particles that are just rotating in some particular orbits. Now we are going to understand one of the structure of an atom. Now in an atom there is some particles which are known as protons, some particles are known as neutrons, and some particles are electrons. In the nucleus there are protons and neutrons. The protons are positively charged particles and neutrons are not having any charge. So the nucleus of an atom is positively charged, right? Now in the atom there are some particular orbits. In that orbits the electrons are able to rotate. The concept of this orbit is introduced by Niels Bohr. Now in the atom the electrons are able to rotate themselves in some particular orbits. Now their structure is very much similar to our solar system, as the planets are rotating with respect to the sun, where the sun is working as a nucleus and the planets are the electrons. The same structure we have for the atoms also. Here all of the electrons are rotating with respect to the nucleus. Now till that part we are just able to know that in an atom there are some positively charged particles which are known as protons, the neutral particles which are known as neutrons, and the negatively charged particles which are electrons. The electrons are able to rotate around the nucleus because the electrostatic force of attraction between the negative charged particle and the positive charged particle. Actually the nucleus of an atom is positive, so that's why it is able to attract the negative charge particles, that is the electrons. Now in the atom there are a lot of orbits where the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Now as you can see in this diagram, in the last orbit the electrons are present, but the electrostatic force of attraction on that electrons will be very much less. So if you apply some small force, or if you apply some heat also, the electrons present in the outermost orbit, they are just able to get detached and the atom will have some charge. Now whenever some electron just leave the outermost orbit, then the atom is positively charged, and if some electrons enters in the outermost orbit, then the atom is negatively charged. So by short we can say, if an atom loses some electrons, it will be positively charged and will get some positive ions. Similarly, if the atom is gaining some electrons, then the atom will be negatively charged and will get the negative ions. Now, because of the presence of free electrons, which are available whenever the electrons get detached from the outermost orbit of an atom, because of the presence of free electrons in a conductor, the electricity can pass through them, the current can pass through them. So that kind of electricity is known as current electricity or dynamic electricity, where the electrons, the charged particles are moving. In this chapter, we are just going to discuss the static electricity, where the charged particles are not moving. It is also known as electrostatics. Now, there are the different methods of charging an object. We can charge an object by the method of friction, We can charge them by the method of conduction and by the method of induction as well. Today we are going to discuss the first method, that you can see that there is a glass rod and there is a silk cloth. Initially, the glass rod and the silk cloth both are uncharged. Initially, they are not having any of the charges. But whenever we are just rubbing them together, then what happens? In the glass rod, if you just consider the atoms of the glass rod, whenever you are just rubbing the glass rod with the silk cloth, some of the electrons from the glass rod get detached. Some of the electrons leave the outermost orbit of the cell. So the glass rod becomes positive charge. As I have told you, whenever some electrons will leave the outermost of the orbit of the cell, it will be positively charged. So the glass rod is positively charged here. Similarly, whatever the electrons that are leaving the outermost orbit of the atom of a glass rod, that electrons are accepted by the silk cloth. So whenever the silk cloth is accepting some electron, it is negatively charged. So in this process, by the method of charging by friction, we are able to get some charge on the glass rod, which is positive in nature because some electrons are leaving the outermost orbit of the shell. And in the silk cloth, we are able to get the negative charge because those electrons are accepted by the silk cloth. So at this point of time, we are just going to end this session. I hope you have enjoyed that. And if you have any of the doubt, you can text me or call me. Okay, please do revise. Thank you. Bye bye.